Traders, welcome. Framework Fortune. As you can see, I'm already in a trade here on DTST. Saw this thing popping up. Does have some good PR. They announced a multi-million-dollar contract with a professional sports team. So anytime you see somebody getting money, usually a good thing. The 200-day is at this 513 area. It's not been able to break over 5 yet. So that's what I'm looking for, is a quick pop over 5 and a little shoot up, maybe like 550 before it pulls back to this 200. If it can break. It may not even break this 200. But this thing got halted right out the gate, and I waited for the pullback. And you can see I got in right there. As soon as it confirmed it was breaking back over 450. So it is kind of curling down, but it does have this uptrend that it started this morning. I'm keeping an eye on at the moment. But I am in there 50 shares at 448 so far in the green. Don't plan on holding it much longer. I'm trying to see if it's going to get this last little pop. A quick pop over 5, because it is trying, keeps trying to get up there and test. Get out of here. Stop moving. Why? Stop moving so I can do my thing here. So the 10-day on the 15-minute is back down at $4. So if this doesn't break soon, this could pull all the way back down to that area. Now, ISIG I'm still holding. As you can see, it is bouncing back up today, already over 21. I did jump in Codex for 20 shares because it's really close to that $10 area. May try to test and break today. VUZI still looking pretty decent. Almost back up to my entry. 962 was my entry, so I'm going to keep swinging that. And then I cut my loss on Jewel for about $100 loss. And I still am in IMX from yesterday. And IMX is very close to making a move one way or the other. But it's been trying to push back over 7. So I'm going to see if that can do its thing there. But let's stay on DTST for a moment. Morning, David Davis. Nice to see you back. Good morning, Michelle. Oh yeah, I'm ready and fired up this morning. We're gonna see what we can make happen. So on the 15-minute, well, it's not quite a flat top. So, and actually this is about to close in 5 seconds. So in 5 seconds, both these candles are going to close. This candle here, we want to see push up back green. May not. It looks like it's going to try to. Coming down to the trend line. See if that 450 can hold and confirm the uptrend or not. So far we're not seeing very many buyers come in at 450, but they are coming in at 445. See, 450 acting as a little resistance again. Some sellers sitting there. See if they get taken out. Still a lot of selling pressure there at 450. We need to break back over it. Crack this trend line. We are done here. Really struggling at the moment to get back above 450. I don't know how I feel about that. Of course, it's only been 2 minutes, so still 3 minutes on this 5-minute candle. There we go. And we should, there we go. Back over, well, we try to get back over 450. We took out a bunch of the sellers, but rejected again. We don't want to see 440 start holding as resistance, and it is starting to try. This thing is super low float too, so you gotta be real careful. I mean, this thing only has 6.5 million shares outstanding, which means it's like a 5 million in float play, so this thing can move very, very quickly. It may not hold these areas. So far, we are holding the trend line, just not able to get back over 450 yet. BGI is looking good. IMX starting to climb its way back up towards that 7 area. BTCS halted today. If you've been following me, we know about BTCS. Let's keep an eye on BTCS. If this thing's already been halted once, about time this thing started getting attention. This is a crypto play. If you haven't seen the videos, I have interviewed the CEO of this company a couple times. He's a friend of the channel, Charles Allen. I've been saying for a long time, especially after talking to him, this stock is undervalued. We'll go ahead and grab a couple of shares of this off here. A little 40 shares, just because I know what's up with this company. All it has to do is re-break 430 and this thing can move. Let's get back to DTST. So it's still testing the trend line at the moment. We got 30 seconds on this candle. What's up, BBJ? How's it going, buddy? But I don't mind. I don't even mind holding BTCS at $4. It's finally starting to get attention. People are realizing how much Ethereum and other coins they have staked in their digital treasury. They got a lot of money. We are testing hard right now on this trend line, sitting right on it. Let me look at the hour chart, make sure I'm not in a... Ooh, that hour chart. Yeah, we've got to hold this trend line, because looking at this hour chart, the 10 days all the way back down at 350. This thing could pull all the way back down if it can't hold the current area. Some buyers coming in off the trend line. It's not too bad. EWTX. A lot of different things popping up. Looks like the SPY basically going sideways at the moment. There we go. So we are getting a little bounce off the trend line. We'll see if it can continue to bounce. They'll need to hold. ISIG bull flag. Yeah. Yeah. Well, now could I? No, I can't lower my position. It's going to average my price down a little bit on this, maybe. Basically, ISIG, and this is why I didn't want to sell it, is on, or I should say on, but in this big wedge on the daily chart. And just tested that 10-day yesterday, but holding it up. So this thing still wants to be bullish. And $20 is what I was saying should be strong support for this thing. LIXT. It's not even on my watch list or on my scanners. Let's see. $2.70. So you got it at 180. Oh, you got it early. Yeah, I bet you did make a nice killing getting it early in pre-market like that, getting a whole dollar rip out of that thing. We got a minute and a half for this candle to close. You can see it's pushed back down, so we are indecision right now. So still very well could drop. What's up, Lauren? Good morning. Just lots of indecision here. We got 40 seconds left. Looks like it's starting to push down some. And you got 20 seconds. They're going to hold above 430 at least. It's trying to. Bid stacking at 430. It's going to be... Okay, some decent sized buyers came in there. So we're going to, yeah, I was about to say we're going to open up right at the trend line. Actually opening up a little bit below it. So if this candle can push back over the top of that, basically if this candle can push over 450, it's good. But if it starts dropping any more, might have to get out. Codex. Look at the wedge on Codex right under $10. Things getting real close to a possible breakout any day now. We haven't started dumping yet. This little candle's still holding. Buyers are continuing to come in and try to hold 430, but if it does not get off of 430, those buyers are going to get tired and move out of the way. And that looks like what may be starting to happen here. BTCS still slowly climbing, possible bullish engulfing here if this green candle can close with that red candle. DTST still holding that 430 area. Looks like it's trying to push back up now. Well, actually, if I adjust this trend line on the 15-minute, match it up with the 15-minute instead of the 5, the trend's more close to that, so we're just, we're still testing the trend line. We should got 2 minutes on this 15-minute candle to close. So LAXT. They had some type of PR about tumors. ISIG still looking alright. The V-long play I'm still in. Hasn't moved much from yesterday, but that's fine. BTCS starting to come back up to that trend line, that possible bullish engulfing. It's got 45 seconds to try to get over 415. So show where I am at. Okay, IMMX is still in that wedge. Now we're pushing back up to 440. We're starting to look pretty interesting here. This trend line starting to confirm. Here, we put that back down. See if this candle pops up over 450 or not. That's going to be the confirmation, is when we pop over 450 and can hold 450 as support again. Oh, Codex actually dropped below. I do have a stop loss in Codex, so I'm not worried about it. Alright, DTST, what are you going to do here? So much indecision. Was unable to get back over 440. We're going to test that 430, 425 area again in support. Buyers are still coming in on the trend line. So which way the SPY start going? SPY still has not made a decision which way it wants to go. Okay, we just broke back over 440. Starting to come over that 450. Let's see. Break at 450 and the hold of 450 will confirm this trend line, and we should see buyers flood back into this again. Check the chart on Taco. What's happening with Taco? Well, my first guess, just by hearing the name, its name is Taco. Oh, it is Del Taco. It's Del Taco. So this barcodes, all this means is this is a very low volume, and this is the algorithm trading. Because human beings can't make perfect buys and sells like this. This is algorithm trading. When you see barcodes like across here, it just lack of volume. So there's no human volume in here. It's just straight algorithm, just doing its thing. All right, DTST just did give a little touch back of 450. Got rejected off there. What's up, Orlando? I used to look at it on the 1 minute chart. I can't imagine it's going to be much different on the 1 minute chart. Yeah, I mean these aren't. I mean you're looking. These aren't big wicks. This is 1247 up to 1248, so that's only a penny wick. Like that's what I'm saying. Like it's just barcodes, just the algorithms moving it. When you're moving billions of dollars, you're gonna get, they do it very slowly. You can't just come in the stock market and drop $1 million in a stock or $10 million or whatever. It'll just shoot straight up, and then when you try to sell it, whatever, it's just not gonna work. But that's all it is. Anytime I see a stock like this, I want nothing to do with it. All right, DTST. Good morning, Joe Mack. Yep, that's it. Usually you want to stay away from them. There's usually no reason to trade those. Get you in trouble more often than not. So we're still hanging out in this 440, 450 area, struggling to break back above 450. Oh, BTCS starting to just popped up to 450 or 440, cracking that downtrend, so that's done. That's what I was saying, guys. BTCS, this thing is super, 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 super low float. Super low float. And they hold, Charles Allen himself, the CEO, holds public shares in the company, so that float's even lower than what it's showing. But like I said, this company has. See, they come out with news. Let me check and see if they came out with news. What do they got going on right now? Oh, wait a minute. That's huge. Bitcoin. Charles Allen, you are my dog. BTC Allen. I can't even get this out. This is incredible. This is exactly what I was talking about when I was telling One Life and Daniel B. The stock market is not going to stay the same. That cryptos are going to change it. This market is not going to stay the same. And this is the perfect example. This is the first ever NASDAQ listed company to offer a dividend payable in Bitcoin. They are going to pay their dividends in crypto, a stock company. Thank you, Charles Allen. I love that. I'm not even selling these shares now. I'll take my Bitcoin and dividend in Bitcoin. That sounds way better. Absolutely. I'm not even selling these shares. I'm keeping them now. RLI new high. Orlando, you up $4 a share on GLB. Nice job. I know you were calling that one out in the Discord. If you guys haven't jumped on the Discord yet, you can find the Discord by going through frameworkfortune.com, signing up with your email, and you will get access to the Discord group. But yeah, I'm going to be, Bitcoin dividend. Yeah, come on. First one on the NASDAQ. Let's go. Let's go. Charles Allen, you're my boy. ISIG starting to shoot back up. Almost back to my original entry. That's why I was really looking. I'm going to reach out to Charles and see if I can get him back on the channel. This is huge news. Let me actually email Charles right now. Give me just a second. Let me get back on DTEST, but I want to get Charles on so we can talk about this because this is incredible. I mean, this is historic. This is a historic moment if you are a crypto advocate. The first stock on the NASDAQ to offer a crypto dividend. Woo! Makes me so happy. Not just because it's a crypto dividend, it's just the principle behind it. Charles Allen is really pioneering what could happen in the future. All right, there we go. So I should hear back from Charles by tomorrow at worst case. And we'll see if we can't get it set up for the next couple of weeks. Now, he may be busy. DTST is starting to crack here. Barely holding up that 430. This is not a good looking pattern. The 15 still looks okay. Still trying to hold the trend line. Guys, I don't care if you only focus on the stock market or not. Like, I'm not seeing any comments about this. I don't think, some of you are really, and maybe you just don't care, but this is huge. This is huge. Now, I'm not saying BTCS is going to go to the sky, but what I'm saying is this is, I mean, a dividend paid out in Bitcoin. That means it has nothing to do with the US dollar. So their company is paying out now. I even asked him that. I'm pretty sure I asked him if a dividend was something they were thinking about in the future. What an idea. It just gets me excited, guys. I love seeing more crypto adoption. But I'll take it. If you don't like BTCS and you don't like Bitcoin, just amazing. Just purely amazing to me. I don't know what to say. Like this is a historical moment, like it truly is. And I'm not just trying to like boost this company because I know the CEO and all that. I know the CEO for the purposes of he's a trailblazer and reached out to me wanting to put the word out there about his company because they're not playing around. That's okay, Michelle. That's what I was saying. Some of you might not care about cryptos, and that's absolutely fine. But for those ones who are crypto adopters, I mean, this is just super exciting. Oh yeah, okay. Let's see. Looks like DTST is going to crack. Still has that last little pre-market high. It's trying to hold it like 415. Don't like the way that 5-minute looks. That little indecision candle followed by this bearish candle, but that is only the 5 minutes. I'm trying to check. Let's see. I bet that hour chart still looks crazy. Yeah, we got 30 minutes. This hour chart very well could turn into a flat top, double top. Actually, looks like it might. Starting to crack right now. I think I'm going to just go ahead and cut this. Because it could just downtrend on the 5-minute for the rest of this 30 minutes and continue down to those EMAs at 350. I ain't holding it down 350. That's crazy. We're gonna dive into some more information about this because I want to know when they're paying it out. If it's an annual dividend, quarterly, how they're doing it. And you can see BTCS just continuing to climb up. It's also 5 cents a share, and it's only a $4 stock. 5 cents a share of Bitcoin. A dividend. That's what they're calling it. A dividend. I love it. I love it. And you can, if you don't want the dividend, you can still get the cash dividend. So it's not like you're only stuck to getting the Bitcoin dividend. But I'll take. Oh, they have a new investor presentation. So actually, I'll just cover all this in a video later today. Let me pull that investor presentation up. It's on their website. Yeah, looks like DTST is going to crack. I'm trying to give it a few more minutes, but I don't. It's on the 15 minute, 10 days at the 4. See, IMX just broke out of its triangle, pushing back over 7 at the moment, trying to. Let's see if I can continue to climb up or not. I'm actually going to drop half my VUI shares here. VUZI shares. I'm more interested in BTCS now. Just a beautiful uptrend, but I grabbed 20 more there. Bringing my average price. Yep, BTCS hitting a new high a day. Bringing my average price up to about 420. That sounds about right. I like that. Let's see. I got 80 of these. I'm not going to cut anything from there yet. That's 10 more cents, $5, so I risk about 25 bucks. BTCS still pushing for new highs. Telling you guys, this big news. IMMX breaking out. Nice U shape on the 15 minute. So we're right at my exit on IMMX where I've been holding the swing from yesterday. My bad trading yesterday. I allowed it to turn into swings. Buyers are still holding this though. They're still holding it above 4 though. A little rebound there off of 4. If IMX can start holding 7, that could start ripping. BTCS just broke over 450, still slowly climbing up. Up. Looks like BTCS going to do some more pushing here, trying to get through that. There it goes, up to through 445, just rolling right through highs a day like it's nothing. They're up to 460, up to 465. Like I said, don't sleep on it. 470. Oh, what a beautiful day. So if you're having issues sticking to, I mean, it sounds like you stuck to your plan all the way up into the point of locking out the profit. It's hard once you get up into 100 bucks of profit. Your emotions start kicking in. You think, oh man, this thing can rip. I might make $200-300, but you can't think of mites and things like that. You gotta be like, okay, I'm up 100 bucks. This is a nice win. Is this thing starting to show some weakness? If it is, I'm getting out and I'm just going to lock it out, because you can always get back in the trade or get into another trade. The one position is not the end all be all of your trading. Don't put so much weight on that one trade. Just take the win, or lock out part of it. Lock out half of it at that price, because part of your trading plan should be a selling price. It should be a resistance line area. Let me look at the top NASDAQ gainer list. If BTCS is on here, BTCS is probably going to take a lot of the attention. Yeah, it's number 2 on the list, top gainer, and LIXT is falling off. So BTCS is probably going to really start, unless something else starts breaking out crazy. But yeah, this is pulling attention. Going to start pulling attention away from everywhere. The significance of this PR, like I said, as a crypto advocate, is incredible. And now we just hit 475. But with that happening, I think I'm going to go ahead and cut out a DTST. Yep, I'm cutting out right now. Yeah, I'm out of there. $23 loss on there. But BTCS is going to, it's going to take all the attention probably today, at least for the time being. All right, guys, I'm going to take a quick little break here, and I will be right back. All right. And DTST may try to hold $4, but not interested in it. Now BTCS is pulling back, but remember this float is very low. This is a very low float play. So, I just ran within 10 minutes from $4 just about, well, actually 408 up to 480, 80-cent move in 10 minutes. This VLON swing trade's cracking down too, so I'm going to go ahead and cut that. Let's see, what was Bitcoin doing? Not that it really matters in this situation, but if Bitcoin's going up too, that's only going to help. Yeah, Bitcoin's bounced a little bit today, up to 46.5. Yeah, this price is so cheap for BTCS. This price is so cheap. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, 1 hour. Yeah, come on back down. Let me get some more of you. ISIG having a little pullback, but like I said, see, IMMX could still run too. Is this on the top 10? No, IMX not even on the top 10% NASDAQ gainer list. So that probably is not popping on any scanners yet. But if it can break over at 730 area, it'll probably start hitting scanners. See, 10-day on the, let's see, I'm on the 5-minute. Okay. 15-minute. May add some more here. I'm gonna add some more. Looks like it may try to push over this 480 in a second. I'm gonna grab another 10. I'm at 80 shares on this thing. And there goes the breakthrough 480. New high a day at 483. Let's see if it starts pushing again. Buyers starting to try to stack the bid at 480. There they go. That's one little streak. There's two more. There they go. They're starting to stack the bid. And there we go. Let's go. Let's see it break over 5. If this thing breaks over 5, it could get real crazy. Testing 490. busting right through 490. There was a lot of sellers there, and they all just got I mean, who is going to be selling this right now? That's the question I got. Because yesterday was the lowest, the low of year. Let's see, what's the low of year on this thing? Yeah, $3. Since this thing listed on the since they listed on the Nasdaq, yesterday was the cheapest this stock has ever been. And then they come out today and announce the dividends. Yeah, we're holding up 490 like a champ. We'll see a test of 5 here soon. See, so, I mean, there's just not much selling going on. Like, look at the volume bars on the 5-minute. There's been just little bits of selling. Probably just day traders locking out little scalps and breathers, but you look at the sell orders that are coming through, there's not very many big sell orders. You look at the buy orders on the time and sells that's coming through, there's huge buy orders. And we're testing 495. Oh, we did just pop up to 499. There we go. Getting closer. Let's see that $5 on the ask. Here it comes. Big seller sitting at 499, but he's slowly getting taken out. He's taken out. 5 on the ask. 5 getting taken out right away. New high day 505. Bids already starting to stack at 5. Of course, we're going to get some resistance here. There's no doubt. I mean, like I said, we did just go $1. BTCS is close to overtaking the ILITX or LIXT as the top gainer on the day. $490 still holding the support. See those bids. Buyers keep stacking. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. They can't. There's not enough selling pressure to push these prices down right now. BTCS has been ignored. It has been ignored. And today they want to shine. Bids still holding 490. More bids stacking there. We may have a little pullback. 475 is probably going to hold us some support. All right, I don't even care. I'm holding this probably all day. IMMX just exploded. Just exploded over that 725 area. Let's go. Let's go. If it can break $8, IMMX might get real crazy. BTCS still holding at 490. Let's go. This is how I want to start the New Year's off. We do have the 50-day on the daily chart at $5 as well. So we got, I mean, this $5 area is very strong, but the fact we pushed through it once and we're still holding right below it, like seller, there's no selling pressure to push this down all the way anywhere. It's very strong. Yeah, see, look at the hour chart or the 15-minute chart. The buying is just continually to increase. DTST continuing to crack down, so glad I cut that loss. ISG I'm still going to hold. Codex still hanging right out below $10, but riding right up this 10 EMA. And be careful, David Davis. Thing is low float. Just because this news is real good doesn't mean that, and we are seeing a lot of buying volume. It could get rejected at $5 today. It may have to come back down and then consolidate and break out tomorrow. But if it, like I said, if it does break 5, we've got a good shot at having a nice continuation rip, especially the way this is looking on a lot. Look at that. Huge buyer just came in at 487. Well, no, if you're buying right now, you're buying at resistance for this $5 breakout. If the $5 doesn't break out, then you're going to have, you're going to be prepared for this thing to drop all the way back down to $4. I mean, that is a possibility. I'm bullish on this. This news is incredible, but at the same time, we're still trading the stock, so we don't want to get emotionally attached. And take a bad entry. You still want to get a good entry on it, even though it has everything that it has going for it. Because honestly, I don't know. This thing is so low float. Like it may not break 5, but that's what you got to understand. In intraday, you're buying at the top. Long term, you're buying at the bottom, or if you got it at 3, you're buying at the bottom. So even now, like looking at this daily chart, there's just so much resistance. $5 tried to hold as support when this first came onto the Nasdaq, and it wasn't able to hold that area on the third test. So now that is strong resistance. Plus the 50-day. So, I mean, there's just a lot of resistance at $5. I'm very bullish on it because I've been bullish on it before it went on the Nasdaq. I've been bullish on BTCS since they were a OTC company. But remember, I've interviewed the CEO twice now, and in good relations with him, where we talk every once in a while. And I do understand what they're trying to do with this project. So if you've not done any research on BTCS, uh, and you don't know why you're buying into this, you're just hearing me talk, that's not a good idea. You want to do the research on the company. Because I could be totally wrong. And just because me and Charles are cool doesn't mean that Charles, he's a great guy. A great guy from what I've experienced with him. But remember, we're in a financial war here. When it comes to investing and trading, anytime you're in a war, anybody can backstab you. So I mean, I don't know. To me, that's why I started getting in down here. As soon as I saw BTCS was popping up on the scanner, I've been wait. I didn't hesitate. The reason why I didn't hesitate at all is because I'm already very familiar with this company. Because see, my price is down at 434. So we are running into a lot of strong resistance at that $5. So there comes a pullback. So now that it's having a pullback, that's what I was saying. You don't want to buy it at 5 or buy it at 490 up here at the top. It was holding very nicely, but it is the second top gainer on the list of the NASDAQ. So day traders and scalpers are already in this. So they're going to sell their positions. God, the wind is blowing like crazy. So that is a little selling pressure there, probably from them. Now, I can say there is no shelf registrations. There's no common offerings. BTCS, from the last time I talked to Charles on the channel here, he said they're not interested in doing any common offerings. They just want to continually organically build. They're not looking for institutional investors. They are looking for a community of investors. Now, will institutions get involved? Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? Yeah, come on back down here. Oops. So I can add more to you. Let's see, what's the SPY doing? SPY still going sideways. IMMX having a little pullback as well. Yeah, there's the high's 11 when they first IPO'd. Or not IPO'd, but uplisted to the NASDAQ. I'm adding another 50 there at this 4, or not 50, but another 10 at that 450 area. Looks like it's going to try to hold 450 for now. If it doesn't, it can come back down to 4. But like I said, me personally, now, two, another thing is, just because I think this is a big deal doesn't necessarily mean the rest of the retail traders and all of that are going to think this is a big deal. And I'm sure we're going to have some analysts on MSNBC and stuff like that, if they talk about it, they may not even, the mainstream media may not even want to talk about this. They might try to bury this. But it depends on how the rest of the market reacts too, which the rest of the market has reacted well so far. See, MYN, well, that looks garbage. That's above BTCS on the top 10 NASDAQ scanner right now, but who cares? ICIG still holding around there. IMX still holding 7, so that's fine as long as it's holding 7. Sino sold off quite a bit. I'm going to take Sino off my watch list. LXIT, I'm going to take that off. Cracking below 450 a little bit. Come on down some. Come on back down to that trend line. I'd be very happy with that. About 425 if I could pick up some more there. Well, we got some support holding at 440. I'm just going to go ahead and grab. Oh, no, but I don't have enough to grab another 10 right now. Codex, very close. Very close to coming up and testing that $10 area, which Codex is still on a nice uptrend. IMMX starting to test this $7 area, possibly could crack. This is why I was saying don't grab it at the top. A lot of resistance at $5. Even this order, this 20 share order, I didn't grab it at the top. I got it at 477, which is close to the top. But I'd already got in 40 back here and 20 at 438. Well, that original entry was very nice. 40 at 412. Oh, I probably do need to change my title to 2022. Thank you, Orlando. You know how it goes. I wonder we're not getting as many people in the stream this morning. They're like, what's this dude live streaming back into... Oh, I said Orlando's Michelle. It was Orlando who said that. Okay. Where's your picture at, Orlando? Why do you have no emblem or picture or anything? You're just like ghost right now. EVTL out of nowhere. This was on a nice little uptrend, but no news. Only 387,000 in volume, and this thing just had a massive rip. Yeah, that would be careful with that. This thing could pump or dump. Oh God, there's 200 million shares outstanding, so I don't know what's going on with that. I don't want nothing to do with that. That looks horrifying. It's absolutely horrifying. Man, I know it's been like that. Now that you said that, I realize the last 2 days of streams probably said 2021 on them. It's a new year, though. We got to get out of the 2021 mind state and be completely open-minded for what's coming in 2022. That 440 is still holding up pretty nicely. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I get, the crypto markets are open 24/7, so I can trade cryptos on Saturday. So, maybe that's why I'm confused today, it being Saturday and me trying to trade stocks. It's very possible. Now, I know what day it is this week because tomorrow I have a doctor's appointment in the morning. So there may or may not be a live stream in the morning tomorrow. I don't know how long it's going to take at the doctor's appointment. Did you really, Orlando? That's incredible, man. That's awesome. You went back and checked your first live stream the exact day when you came into the Framework Fortune community. One Life trying to roast you, Orlando. Get him. Get him. He's trying to roast you. Am I getting snipped? What kind of snipping do you mean? You mean my hair? You mean the talking about me getting neutered? What are you talking about? I'm just gonna answer a question about being snipped without knowing what you mean. Talking about circumcisions? What are we talking about here? We gotta be a little more specific. Screw you, McAfee. Get out of here. Yeah, see, okay. Nah, I don't plan on getting neutered this year. What kind of random question is that? I'm so confused by that question. Unless you're talking about metaphorically on display, which, in that case, absolutely not. I'm definitely not going to get neutered on display. I don't have kids. I don't have to worry about kids. No, no, I'm going to the doc for my physical and blood work and stuff. There's nothing wrong with me besides my pinky's numb. I think I got carpal tunnel. My pinky's been numb for 2 weeks now, so I'll see what that's about. Whether or not my pinky's gonna make it. I might get my pinky snipped off. I don't know. Not like I need it. Spy the last few days on the 30-minute. I don't think I have a 30-minute chart, so I'll just look at the hour. It's close enough. Yeah, the SPY had that bounce off of that bottom, and it's just been going sideways. It's because the Feds are tapering. They told us they were going to start tapering, which means they're going to put less money in the market. So that $1 billion void, or billions of dollars a void is going to start becoming more apparent. Nobody's going to buy the shit from the feds at the top. So that's why this is why I've been bearish. Is it going to be this time? It may just pull back to 450 again. A pullback to 450 on the SPY, that's still quite a drop. That's a $26 drop. So that would still be a decent correction. Don't know if it's going to be the big correction, but definitely be a decent one. Oh yeah. Well, that's what I was saying yesterday. Looking at the indexes, you look at the Dow Jones Index, the industrial index. We're right at the top of this wedge. I mean, every time it's hit a new high like that at the top, this has been confirmed. It was confirmed for sure by this last one. So more than likely we are going to have a correction. But this one, this is the thing I've been saying. The longer it takes for the market to correct, the longer they pump it up, the harder the fall could be. So you see this pump up here all the way up to that 37,000 area when our support line is still way back down here. So there's still easy correction that could happen. And we could see that correction, and we could see another bounce and push for a new high on the market as this thing spreads out. But if we stay in this pattern where we continue to spread out and the range is getting higher because the resistance line keeps moving up and up, but our support area is staying the same, you're going to get more and more volatility. But that's why we've been seeing so much unpredictability in the markets, is because of this crazy volatility over the past, basically since July. The dollar weakening. The dollar was unable to break back over that 96 area, so I'd say we're going to see another drop on the dollar soon. Yeah, gold trying to push back, getting close to the top of this trend line for another retest. Beautiful, beautiful wedge breakout on gold. And silver back over 23. Of course, U.S. oil moving up. No doubt about that. And then look at that. The U.S. dollar performing in the red against everything but the Russian ruble. I guess the Russian ruble. Yeah, it is the Russian ruble. We'll see, though. Oh yeah, BTCS. That's what I'm not worried about BTCS myself personally. Like I said, I've done the research, so I'm not really concerned um, about it. Like I said, I may hold these shares all week, but just because I'm saying that doesn't mean you want to buy it as soon as you can get in. Like you guys are talking about buying it here at 5. That was at the top. This so far support of 430 ended up holding up. That was not too terrible of an area. So that's normal. That's the normal movement of the SPY, is to slowly uptrend. Like all you got to do, Orlando, is look back at the charts. Pull the SPY up on a chart and just look at it. Oh, I'm in the cryptos. Let me put the indexes back. Get back to my index list. There's a SPY. So if I go on so you look at the SPY before COVID. Okay, this was the COVID dip right here. And you look at it before the 2008 housing market crash. 2008 housing market crash there. All right, nice slow normal movement over 2009 and 2010. Right? That's not that big of a move. We went from 71 to 121. $50 over a year on the SPY. After a big crash like the 2008 housing market crash, not a big deal. We go back even further, and you can see most prior years, that's what it usually looks like. It's usually nice little slow climbs. Right? All the way back to 2000, even back to 95 with the dot-com bubble and all of that, where technology advanced and we really started seeing an explosion. The only difference this time, and this is why I keep telling you guys, this is the biggest difference. Right here, this is the stock market from 2000, actually 1997 to 2015. It was in this nice little wedge. Now that's okay that it would break out of that wedge, but this is where we are now. We're way up here. Look at it, like there's nothing natural about the last 10, 15 years. Back to 2008 when the Fed started doing QE, quantitative easing, where they print money and they buy stocks and bonds to hold the market up. And that's what they done. Since 2008, the COVID dip was a very small dip in comparison to this massive rip. And they just kicked it into full gear in 2020 with COVID. So it just went straight back up. I mean, this is straight money printing. When you look at the SPY like this, you know, it's not, are we due for a correction? I mean, in the short term, in the midterm, yeah, we're due for a correction looking at that Dow Jones Industrial Index, but we are due for a massive pullback. This is not natural for anything to move straight up like this, especially a $1 trillion market. But you got to remember, this is measured in US dollar terms. So the US dollar terms, even though this is up at 476 a share, the US dollar's purchasing power since 2008, since the housing crash, actually it goes way back before then, but the purchasing power of the dollar has been on a downtrend. That goes all the way back to 1986. Of course, it goes all the way back to where they took the dollar off the gold standard. But this is the point that I've been harping on for the last 2 years. If you're measuring the SPY in US dollars and the price of the US dollar, the purchasing power is going down, then you're going to have inflated numbers on the Dow Jones. The only way, or the SPY, whatever ETF you're looking at, the only way that you can get out of those inflated numbers, because you're looking at US currency, you're not looking at the SPY versus gold. If we were looking at the SPY and it was priced in gold, the chart would look totally different. But it's priced in US dollars. So because of the lower purchasing power, it takes more US dollars to buy more shares of the SPY. It's not that the SPY costed really any more back here than it did here. It's just the power of the dollar has decreased, so the price in US currency has went up. Like you have to understand the difference between value and currency, and understand that the US dollar is not concrete. It is not the end all be all of money. It's in fact not even money. It's a currency. It is just used to measure value. So the value of the SPY right now may be measured at $477, but that doesn't mean the SPY is more valuable than it was at $400. If your purchasing power was buying a lot more at the SPY at $400, and then it goes up to 476, well, your US dollars, of course, you're going to get a lot more back, but it doesn't matter how many US dollars you're getting back if the US dollars are worth less now than when they were when you bought the stock at 400, or the SPY at 400, or whatever the asset is that's being inflated. So you have to understand the difference between currency and value, and you can't just look at it in one dimension through the US dollar. The US dollar is not an anchor for anything. It is just a measuring stick. That is it. I would buy the SPY back down here, like where it should be at. But again, why would I want to buy the SPY in the first place? Even if it did crash all the way back down to 200, I wouldn't buy the SPY. I'd be buying other stocks. So BTCS coming back down to the trend line. As long as it's holding up that trend line, it'll be fine. I mean, if it cracks the trend line, yesterday it was at 312. So, it could drop another dollar, but depending on what the overall market does. Looks like the SPY might be pulling back. Exactly, Tony. Exactly. Yeah, we are way overdue. It's not so much of that the SPY is, I mean, right now, short term, it's definitely overdue for a correction, or it's ready for a little correction. But these little corrections do not make up for all of the U.S. currency that the Feds have pumped into the market. That's where the big crash is going to be at. When the Feds pull completely out, and they're no longer putting money into the stock market, who is going to come in and buy it up after that? Especially if we continue to stay at these all-time highs. Apparently, One Life is willing to buy the SPY at all-time high from the Feds, because that's what you're essentially doing. That's who you're buying the SPY from at this point, because they're the ones who've been pumping the most money into it. So if you're good with buying the SPY at all-time highs from the Federal Reserve, then hey, you must have a lot of faith in our government and Federal Reserve. But from what I've seen and how they've handled the inflation, which if you've been following me for the past year, I've called every step of the way that they were lying out their ass, and inflation has continued to get worse. Continued to get worse. It wasn't because I'm a fortune teller. It's because I was able to look at those charts and look at the SPY looking like a damn Empire State Building going straight up over the last 15 years. Like, it's just common sense. What goes up must come down. I don't need to be a specialist in anything, or read 5,000 books to know the obvious. It's just a matter of when. Now, of course, you can use the argument that the SPY has went up over the past 100 years or whatever, and yes, it has. But in the past 100 years, we've never been at a point where we're at now. And that's why, One Life, I don't think you're seeing the whole picture. And I think that's why you got smoked in that live stream, in that debate against me, is because you are refusing, or maybe laziness. I don't know what is keeping you from doing the research, but all you got to do is do a little research and you'll start to see this stuff. I did buy the inverse the other day, but why would and it didn't work out because the feds are still pumping money in. Like I said yesterday, they announced tapering, but tapering doesn't mean they're going to stop all at once. So if they continue to put little bits of money in, but putting less than they were in, that's going to make it very unpredictable, which is what we're seeing, which is what I've been saying the past 4 weeks. So I'm not going to buy into the inverse ETF if the feds are still pumping money into it. Because if the feds want to, they can push the gas on the money and pump it up even more. So I'm not gonna sit and hold. It's not a put my money where my mouth is. The market is manipulated. It like what like exactly. You don't talk economics. So why are you talking when I'm talking about economics? That's the point. That's why you got roasted in that debate. Just the same way that Daniel B did not know anything about crypto like he thought he did and came in there with his big boy pants on and got bent over and spanked like the little baby. That's why Daniel B's been quiet. I'm not even arguing. I'm just trying to educate people who don't know this, the new traders who's come in the community. I know I preach this stuff all throughout the year. If you've been following me for a long time, you're probably tired of hearing it. But, then we got new people coming in all the time. And when you guys continue to think that you continue to say in the live stream, the SPY is going to go up and up and up and up and up. I'm trying to educate people to not make dumb decisions based off of some random guys in a live stream who's been on the channel, and both of you in debate format, and both of you got roasted. So roasted. No, what makes me feel good is educating people. What makes me don't feel good is when I'm trying to educate people and they're too damn proud of themselves to actually listen to anything. That's what annoys me. Because I research and listen to all types of stuff. Like I've said before, I listen to Robert Kiyosaki. I listen to Peter Schiff. I listen to some Keynesian economists, even though it hurts to listen to what they're saying because they usually have no idea what they're talking about. They just make stuff up pretty much. But I listen to all different types of economists, do research on all this stuff. So, this is just my point of view. But like I said, I don't think it takes a rocket scientist to look at the SPY and say, oh, that thing's going to come down sooner or later. No, what's sad is I really thought, Daniel B, you were going to have more to bring to the table. Like, I'm not trying to be the master roaster. I wanted to do those debates to actually get some insights to different perspectives to show people. But as I told you in before that debate, and I warned you, if you have not done your research, this is not going to go well for you. You know, like I want people to be educated. I don't want people to be uneducated. You can throw all the shade you want. but it's irrelevant now, Daniel B. You got shown. Then you want to do the actual research on cryptos and come back and have the debate. You're welcome to it, but I don't want to waste my time debating people who have not done the research, because that's just a waste of time. I'm not bringing any value to the community by debating people who are just too prideful to do any research on stuff. That's just a waste of everybody's time. But anyway, history always repeats itself because of the laws of nature, the natural laws of nature that I acknowledge. Some people don't acknowledge them, but it all will come to a head at some point. Tony remembers. Tony remembers. Yeah, Daniel B. That's I've said this many times. I listen to a bunch of people and then I do my own research. I come up with my own thoughts. I'm a independent thinker. Just because I listen to other people doesn't mean that I just sit there. When I'm saying listening, I listen as in hear them. I hear what they're saying, I process it, and then I go research it. So yeah, I mean, what sense would it make? I'm not even gonna go there. I don't know how they're going to calculate the dividend yet. That's why I'm going to look into it and do a video on it right after the stream. I don't know. It's the first dividend ever in the stock market that is going to be paid out in Bitcoin. But I mean, the calculation is, oh, I know exactly how they're doing it. That's a dumbass question, DB. It says right here, the dividends for 5 cents. So it's 5 cents US dollars. So you will get 5 cents per share, whatever 5 cents of the US dollar is versus the price of Bitcoin at the time. That's pretty simple. It's going to be 5 cents of Bitcoin per share. Oh my goodness. Oh my god. Why do y'all even start with me? Why? Why? After those two debates, you guys, One Life, you keep doing your thing with the day trading and talking about that, because you have a lot of insights to share there. But Daniel B, I thought you were leaving it all in the past in 2022, man. I guess not. I guess you're just gonna keep that pride a pumping, huh? Stay on the pride train. The pride train that runs directly into a wall every time it starts going. Oh, for clarification, just in case, when I said pride train, I was not referring to LGBTQ community, just to be clear. You're welcome, DB. You're welcome. I'm glad I was able to educate you on looking at a press release in the stock market and tell you how the press release read. Glad I was able to read that to you so you could understand it. I hear you, One Life. I hear you. That lack of understanding of economics is going to play a role. It's real easy to look at a chart and say, "Oh, the SPY is going to come." Here's a good example of this mind state that you're using right now, One Life. You're using the same mind state as Bitcoin hodlers, Bitcoin bulls. And I'm not talking about Bitcoin and like crypto investors who have some Bitcoin. I'm talking about the people who only invest in Bitcoin. Their argument is because Bitcoin has always went up since it came out, that it will go up continuously in 10 years. Maybe, but there's so many altcoin projects, Bitcoin could start losing some of that market cap, which I think we have started seeing some of that. Cosmos Atom has been stealing a little bit of market cap from Ethereum and Bitcoin. Just a little bit. Not enough to notice yet, but just a little bit. So there's competition. But it's a short-minded perspective. Like 100 years sounds like a long time because most humans don't live 100 years. So when you're looking at 100, like the stock market has went up over the past 100 years nonstop. Yes. Did the U.S. stock market exist before that? No. So you only have 100 years of data to go off of, with thousands of years of historical data of human and human currency, seasons, laws of nature, government, empire falling cycles. So thousands of years versus 100. Just here's a perfect example. We're looking at the 5-minute chart, right? Why do we look at the hour chart? One Life, Daniel B. If we're trading intraday, why are we looking at the 5-minute, and then we also look at the hour and the daily? Why is that? I don't care if the SPY drops next year or not. It doesn't matter. It's going to come down at some point. It just can't keep going straight up. Now, answer my question. Why do we look at the 5-minute and then we also look at the 1 hour and the daily chart? Why is that? Good morning, Ruben. How's it going, buddy? This is a simple question. Daniel B, One Life, you both are you claim to be experts. One of you can answer this. Why do we look at higher time frames? Intraday for day trading. Kodak still hanging around that 10. ISG hanging around 21. DTST back up to 396. Not really much going on at this moment, though, but we're in that little dead time. Momentum, yes. We did have a correction in 2021. One Life, did you forget about that? Did you forget about the COVID dip where we dipped quite a bit and then the Fed started pumping money? I was right about 2020 when I said it was going to dump. But the Feds continued to pump money and they kept it from dumping. That's not my fault. I can't control what the Feds do. They have control over the currency. They can do whatever they want. By looking at technical analysis, the market should dump. But the technical analysis does not show the manipulation as clearly. You have to understand these premises I'm talking about. Answer my question. You keep on going off on these other arguments and tangents. I'm giving you a chance here. This is a simple question. Do you guys not know the answer to why we use higher time frames? I feel like you were just preaching on this the other day, One Life. Why do we use higher time frames intraday? Trend, that's part of it. But there's an exact reason. And I want Yeah, because you're not listening to me. So you're having an argument and not even listening to the other side. So that's classy. Why do we use higher time frames intraday? We look at a 5 minute when we look up, but when we look in intraday, we also look back at the hour and the daily charts. Why do we look at it? Daniel B, answer my question. Both of you are fighting this. All you got to do is answer the simple question. It's a very simple question. You know the answer to it. I don't know why you guys are pretending you don't, unless you know what I'm getting at. And guys, we're not gonna do it into a whole debate or anything. This is gonna be an education lesson for new traders, new people to economics, and this is gonna be an education lesson for One Life and Daniel B. I ask you, One Life. What do you mean you tell me? I ask you the question. All right, okay. All right, that's okay. I don't need you to answer the questions. You guys are just making yourself look stupider than you already are looking. So I'll answer the question for you, and then I'll show you this lesson. I'll show exactly why what I'm talking about makes sense. We use intraday. If we're looking at the 5 minute, we look at the hour. Yes, because BBJ, you've been accurate on everything you said, but it's not what I'm getting at. We look at it for the trend lines. We look at it for the support and resistance. But what are we looking at to look for those support and trend lines for resistance? We are looking at past chart history, right? That's how we find our support and resistance. This is what the indicators are calculated off of. Past chart history. So, as a day trader, if you look at the past chart history on a stock that you're about to trade, say like BTCS, if the stock market is only 100 years old and human existence, prices, economics, buys and sells, transactions, people giving money to raise money for other things, that has existed all before the stock market, the US stock market. So if you look at your past chart history on a higher time frame than 100 years, then you will understand what I'm saying. You guys are only looking at the stock market like it is there and it has been there forever and it's not going anywhere. The US stock market doesn't have more than 100 years, maybe a little bit more, but it's in the range of 100 years. If you look at the past chart history of market economics, of empires falling, you look at U.S. currency cycles in that past chart history, past that 100 years, you look way back to the past 1,000 years, then you're going to see multiple markets have failed. You're going to see multiple empires have crashed. You're going to see multiple currencies have been the reserve currency of the world. You're going to see all of the same stuff that we're going through right now, and you're going to see those crashes that's happened on the past chart history past 100 years. You guys are only looking in a short-sighted mind state because you will refuse to look outside of what you know from when you were born and raised. The brainwashing is still strong with you, Daniel B. in One Life. Very strong. But this is as simple as that. The same way we're looking at the hour chart, the daily chart for BTCS to see where the support and resistance lines is the same way, just in a longer time period, that we would look at the stock market. So Yeah, May 17th, 1792. It's 2020, so it's about 220 years old. Okay. But there's a big thing that you got to incorporate. Even though it was 1792, at that time the US dollar, which the stock market was priced in, was backed by gold. It was backed by a physical asset. So the 100 years I'm basically referring to is the fiat currency time, where gold was taken off. So right here, and this is the entire point. Fiat currencies have historically recorded an average lifespan of 27 years. The USD has been serving a global reserve currency for 90 years. So when the stock market was created, exactly is actually kind of irrelevant to the point in the first place. This is what I'm talking about. The reserve currency is the important thing. There's plenty of stock markets, but we're talking about a major empire. We're talking about a major reserve currency. We're not talking about a small like a small I don't know, like a trying to think of a small country, like a Mongolian stock market. The Mongolian stock market, if there even is one, is going to be irrelevant to all of this. So, but 40 of those years has only been as a fiat currency. So the average lifespan of a fiat currency historically is 27 years. The US dollar is at 40 years. So we're 13 years past the life cycle for a fiat currency. 40 years. 13 years past it. We are overdue for a correction. Now, if the US dollar was uptrending over the past 30 years and the economy was getting better, then it would be a different discussion. But that's not what we're seeing here. But the point still remains, you've got to look back. Here, let's just learn about cycles. We'll just Google all through these cycles so you guys can see this stuff. So that's the average lifetime of a fiat currency. Average lifetime of an empire. Well, let's just do empires. The average age of empires, 250. After that, empires always die, often slowly, something else I've been saying, but overwhelmingly from overreaching in the search of power. So in 2026, that's 4 years from now, America as an empire is coming to that 250th year. So this is another end of a cycle of empires. So we're past due on the US dollar. We're coming up on the 250th year. Let's see, what other cycles can we look at? There's so much studies on cycles, so much things we could look at. See, even that one there says approximately 220, so we're actually over it. Yeah, and you can see on Reddit, America's in the sixth age, the final age of an empire. But like I said, all this goes back. You're looking at past chart history. So we are not in a normal time to where the stock market can just go back to normal in 10 years. In 10 years, the U.S. may be collapsed. Yeah, the first stock ever might have been created in Amsterdam, but this goes back even to this actually. That's a good point, Ruben, because this actually reminds me of another point to prove what I'm talking about. Japanese candlesticks, when were they made? They were not made before or after the US stock market. They were created a long time ago. Japanese candlesticks. Created, whatever. They were created in the 18th century by a Japanese rice trader. So these candles that you're looking at, that you're so solid on looking at for the stock market, these candles were used for rice 3 centuries ago. So these candles, this price action, the transactions between humans buying and selling has been able to be charted for centuries. So what we're seeing now, what you're trying to argue with me about the SPY, you're arguing charts with candles from a manipulated Federal Reserve and a manipulated currency. He was measuring the candlesticks, or he was measuring rice. Rice has actual real value. You need rice to live, to eat. So it is a commodity. Stocks are not commodities. Okay? There's a difference. You buy a piece of paper saying that you own shares in a company, that is not something you need. That is a investment. You can invest in commodities, but the stock market, like, you can't eat a stock, or you can't use a stock other than what it is used for, to show ownership in that stock, in that company. Rice, gold, silver, steel, corn, all of that stuff has been measured by these same pricing chart techniques for thousands of years, for centuries. So the transactions that we're looking at are people, as I've been stating. We don't need thousands of years of US stock market data to know what people are going to do. We have past chart history all the way back to whenever the first piece of history was supposedly recorded of humans and their interactions being charted out. We have history of this. And the history is not starting at the creation of the stock market in the U.S. in 1792. That's not where the past chart history starts. The past chart history starts with humans, because humans are behind everything. They are behind these candles. This is nothing but technical analysis. It's just a way to look at the transactions and say these candles represent the people buying and selling during this time period. So if during that time period a lot more people buy than sell, the price goes up and the candle will be green. If a lot more people sell within that time period, then the candle will go down and it will be red. That's simple, right? You know the chart, you know the candles. So all of this, when you put it all together, anybody who thinks that the U.S. is too big to fail they're not looking at the past chart history. Anybody who thinks the stock market is too big to fail is not looking at the full past chart history. You're looking at a 5-minute time frame over the past 100 years. That 100-year time frame is like a 5-minute time frame when you compare it to the other thousands of years of history of humans. So, hopefully that's pretty clear. Um, I read propaganda. So, Lightning Rick, you said that you read the other day that 80% of the whole world's currency is in large bills, 100 and over. If it's in U.S. currency or any other fiat currency that's inflated, then that makes sense because the dollar bills would not be worth anything technically. So the hundreds might be worth a little bit more. I mean, I don't know. It's not an end of the world theory. You guys can, yeah, okay. All right, all right, all right. It's okay. You two both have got smacked and spit roasted all over in a live stream debate. So I wasn't doing that history lesson for you two. I was doing that for everybody who wants to clearly, truly understand what is happening. You've struck oil when the people who said you wouldn't struck oil have nothing else to say but say nonsense. You find a gold vein, you're like, yeah, I found some gold, and then the neighbor's like, oh, that gold ain't worth anything. You're crazy. What you gonna tell me that plastic's worth something next? That's the arguments y'all give me. Y'all are silly. Y'all are so silly. You two boys. You two boys. You will learn. You will learn. You will learn how economics and stuff works one day. You guys might know how to trade stocks, but that's about as far as your knowledge goes, Daniel P. in One Life. And you've shown that over and over again. Now, if you didn't understand what I was saying about all of that, the cycles, just do more research. Like I said, there's plenty of information about cycles out there. But the main thing that it all boils down to, especially with cycles, is as simple as this. Humans repeat the same mistakes over and over again. We see that constantly. I mean, you see a whole political party right now who is trying to push us back into segregation times in the name of progressiveness. That is a perfect example of the stupidity of humans in mass herd not understanding how things actually work. It's very easy to get something in your head and think that it's concrete. World's not as concrete as everybody thinks it is. Just because it's been safe and, economy's been decent, America's been the country, the last, whatever, 200 years, 300 years, doesn't matter. Not even 300 years. We're not even to the 250 life cycle yet. Daniel B, you trying to challenge me to make money. Like, I'm literally making money right now while we're live streaming, idiot. I get paid advertising. Come on now. Shut up. Stop trying to use money comparisons to make... That's the dumbest argument. Oh, I've got more US dollars than you, so guess what? I know more than you about US dollars. Good. Have them all. You can have all the US dollars, Daniel B. I hope you get every single US dollar that's out there.
Get you the biggest pile of US dollars and you swim in it and you enjoy that swimming. You just have a good old time, buddy. I hope you have the best time with all your US dollars. I don't want none of them. I'll take the bullet here. I'll take the bullet. Keep all your US dollars. I'll sacrifice myself for you, Daniel B, so that way you can have all them dollars. Christopher Cormier, I want to know a little bit more why you said that you're proof of that. What exactly are you speaking on, just so we can get some other perspectives in here. And then David Davis, that was a funny comment. My 16-year-old will destroy them on this. Empires fall, period. Yeah, I know. I know. Like I said, I don't argue and debate them to entertain them or to make myself feel better, as they like to point at it. They always start it, and then they like to go, oh, you just do this to make yourself feel better, or oh, you do this to try to make yourself look cool. Like, dude, I put a picture of myself walking a cat on a video. I sing my intros. I sing the stocks and tell them to and have a slogan that says, marinade your steaks and serenade your stocks. Like, come on. Oh, Christopher, you said you were does it, Daniel B? It doesn't look like I know how to trade. What's going on with this trade right here? I mean, are you even paying attention anymore to the stream, or are you just talking just to talk? Cause I'm up on this trade right now, so not exactly sure what you're talking about. Yeah, William Brock. There you go. Tell him. Tell him. Just because, what do you mean, One Life? Do you not understand that the British Empire fell? Do you not understand that the Asian empires fell? Just because China's still around, just because the Great Britain is still around, doesn't mean that their empire didn't fall at one time. Is Great Britain the strongest empire in the world anymore? No. That doesn't mean just because you crash as an economy and as I mean, look at that's such a dumb question. Venezuela, they're still around. They destroyed their currency. They destroyed their economy. They didn't go. It's not like a business where the country goes out of business. It's just you're going to be living in a shitty ass country when that happens. Jesus, God, man, come on, guys. If you're going to actually try to debate me on here and have these type of discussions, make it make sense. Don't say stupid stuff like that. God, jeez. Cuba is the strongest. Yeah. I don't even know what that means. That's another crazy talking out your ass. So anyway, um, from everybody I've heard who lives in Great Britain, yeah. Yeah, it is. You can go to jail for misgendering somebody. So I would say that's pretty shitty. Because you know how easy it is to misgender somebody when there's 5,000 genders? And you can go to jail for that? And you can also change your genders at any time? Yeah, it's pretty shitty living in Great Britain. You go ahead and move over and tell me how it is. And Daniel B, if you dare say anything when you came on this particular topic about other countries, you came from a different country to America. So don't you dare even try to comment on that. Canada too, exactly. Canada's terrible. I'm not mad. You're the ones who get mad. I'm laughing. I'm laughing because of y'all's silliness. It's entertainment. I mean, hey, if you want to continue to sit here and argue with me all day on this live stream that I get paid money to do, I mean, why you're not getting paid to do it? You go right ahead, man. Doesn't hurt me anything. Doesn't hurt me whatsoever. You think I'm getting mad? You guys are giving me content. You are allowing me more content, which is going to make me more money, and also in turn is also going to educate other people, so other people can make more money. Because other people, obviously, as they're starting to say in the chat, they're speaking up and saying, you guys are fucking idiots, basically. Oh, Lauren, you're out. Hopefully you make it back in time. Good night, Lori. You have a great night. Hopefully you sleep well. Come back to see you tomorrow. You'll see. Like I said, you two boys have already got roasted enough. You guys got it on live stream in an actual debate where both of you were on camera. So you guys want to keep making me more money and telling me that I'm not making money? Go for it. All right. So anyway, BTCS had a nice little bounce off of the trend line. It still has a little short-term downtrend, but as long as it's holding up this trend line, I'm still going to hold it. And like I said, I'll probably hold this all week. Just because of where it was at, being at that low. And I actually, if it would come down lower, I'd actually grab some more. I just haven't checked BTCS in a while. Let's see, actually, what was that? This is the 1 hour... Where's my 1 hour chart? Oh, so it is a 15-day. Yeah, 15 days. So yeah, just 2 weeks ago, this was at 523. But yeah, I'm going to keep holding. Oh, Chris Cormier, I would like to hear a little bit more about what you're talking about. That's interesting, though. You said your proof of what I was saying about people being sheep following the herd. What are you referring to? Because that's an interesting, like the honesty that you're having right now, Chris. I'm really admiring that you were able to say that. Most people don't want to even admit anything like that. I mean, to realize that you have been a sheep and coming out of that mind state, because I went through the same thing. I was born and raised, have a savings account, stay away from credit, get a 401k, don't try to trade the markets, let the specialists do it for you because you don't know what you're doing, you're going to lose money. I was taught all that same way. I was taught, the news is always honest. Watch the mainstream media. One political party has your back, and they're the ones that's going to look after you. Don't pay attention to other political parties. I was taught all that shit. I was raised the same way as most people my age was raised, and it took me a while. It took me a long time. I'm 33 now, or coming up on 33, something like that. It wasn't until about 29. 30 after I had been trading in the markets for a while and doing research where I started unmasking all of this stuff that's covered up by the basically whipped cream of mainstream media and the people in power. Nah, that's not true in life. I had a stream the other day with 30 people and neither of y'all were in it, and plenty of people were talking. The only reason why people aren't talking while you two are talking is because they don't want to hear y'all's nonsense. I mean, I've had plenty of people reach out and say, why do you even give those two time? It's annoying to sit here and listen to you try to argue with them every day. So that's why I'm trying, instead of argue, I'm trying to actually educate at the same time. So you guys are just giving me, more to work with. I'm David Davis. I'm with you. I'm a realist too. I have a degree of cynicism, um, but at the same time, to being too much of anything is bad for you. You know, too much cake is bad for you. Too much. There's other examples coming in my head, but I'm not trying to say those. Too much alcohol is bad for you, but a little bit of alcohol can be good for you. You know, if you drink some red wine twice a week, that's actually healthy. You drink 100 pack of Natty Daddy in a week, that's not healthy. So I don't like to go full fledged on anything. Even though I'm bearish on the stock market and I think that the market's going to have a big crash, um, I'm not cynical to the point to where I think it's going to crash to zero. What I do think is going to happen is we're going to see a crash, and then on top of that, which today's news on BTCS only confirms my suspicion that the stock market will go more towards blockchain technology. It only makes sense. The way that they keep up with, I mean, there's so much information with so many different ticker symbols, all the different analytics, the mark changes, percent changes, dividend yields, PE ratios, all that stuff. There's so much information that's just sitting on big ass computers that's taking up all the server rooms and not able, you know, it's just taking space and taking energy. Whereas if they convert all that onto the blockchain, any blockchain, then the whole stock market would be on blockchain. It would be a lot more efficient, a lot more transparent, a lot less manipulated. And I think that's what's going to come out of this crash is we're going to get a blockchain, a stock market rebuilt on top of blockchain technology, which then we would see a nice rebound in the stock market. But what we're talking about is over the next 10-year span. Like the market just doesn't crash all of a sudden. The economy just doesn't crash all of a sudden. Empires don't crash all of a sudden. It's a slow process. So we're going to see a lot of different changes just because we are at the end of so many different cycles. Out of previous cycles, the cycle starts anew. So it's not actually anything new. The main cycle that we're going through is the cycle of centralization and decentralization, because right now we have massive centralization. So it only makes sense as blockchain technology is the newest technical advancement that we would move to that for everything. Like, why would we not? You know, and it's already happening. It's already happening across many sectors. More business owners, small business owners are starting to realize it's a lot easier to keep up with all your inventories and your payrolls and all of that stuff on blockchain than it is to the traditional systems. I used to be a restaurant manager for 5 years, and I hated every single POS system out there. They're called POSs not because they're point of sales, but because they're pieces of shit. So the blockchain is going to answer that, and that's why I think it's going to happen. So I don't think the stock market in the U.S. is just going to explode and turn into nothing. There's things that will happen that will change the way things are done. It's just that time in history. We go through these periods of history where we change the way we do things. And blockchain is doing that. It's changing the way that we handle data information, which is literally everything around us right now. Anything in the digital world, your cell phones in your pockets, your credit cards in your wallet, all of that stuff, all data swarming all around us. And blockchain does it better, cheaper, faster than anything else that we have. Saying your daddies are unhealthy, fake news. Okay, here we go. Here's what I want to. So, Christopher, you said you're trying to change your life with trading. You've been trading for 10 years, but you can't seem to get out of the bad habits, even though you know how to win and you know how to lose, but you're still in it and determined. So, you haven't failed yet. The 90% of traders that fail are the ones that come into the market, lose a little bit of money, run away, and cry scam. That's most of it. It's people who don't know what they're doing, getting in, losing money. I mean, that's herd mentality. We know people in groups are not that smart. And nowadays, people just in general are not. It's not even that people aren't smart anymore. It's just people are uneducated. They're uneducated about so many things and then have so much pride to pretend to be educated. And it's like, no. Like, how can you... There's just so many things I see all the time where I just don't understand what people are talking about. I'm like, what? How did you even come to that conclusion? Because you just, like, to come to conclusions, to solve a problem, you have to be educated on the X and the Y. If it's X plus Y equals Z, and you don't know what X and Y equals, then how the hell are you going to know what Z equals? So that's why I said you got to do your research on X and Y first before you get out there and start talking about the Z on social media. Or you're going to get... Yeah. Well, you guys know. So, a couple of questions, and I'm gonna call it a day because we are past time here on the stream. We had a nice stream this morning. Good information out there. What? And oh, by the way, Daniel B, I'm shaking because I'm hungry. I haven't ate today. You know, I always get hungry around this time. I'm not shaking because I'm shaking in my boots because Daniel B said something on my live stream. No, I'm hungry. I shake when I'm hungry. I'm like a dog. I'm like a little puppy. But anyway, that's a good saying, doghouse cards. I like that saying. So, Christopher, I want to talk directly to you for a minute, though, before we get off the stream. And everybody who's a new trader, or if you're been trading and having the same issues as Christopher. I've been doing it for 7 years, buddy, and I'm still in that same situation as you. I have a hard time breaking my bad habits. Now, do you have bad habits outside of the stock market? Because if you are not disciplined outside of the stock market, how are you going to be disciplined during the stock market? You either have discipline or you don't. There's not a mid-range of discipline, just like there's not a mid-range of free. Things are either free or they're not. So you're either disciplined or you're not. So if you're not disciplined outside of the stock market, you know, if you've got bad habits like smoking cigarettes, drinking alcohol, anything like that that's costing you money and is also mentally affecting you, those bad habits are going to transition into your trading into the stock market, right? Because if you drink a whole bunch and you're hung over every morning coming in to trade, that can directly affect your trading. Now, I'm not directly aiming it at you. I don't know what the deal is. That's why I'm asking. I'm just asking, do you have other bad habits outside? Because that's where you need to start. As a entrepreneur, as a trader, as just a person in general in life, when you're trying to better yourself, the way that you better yourself is not motivation. Motivation is a short human thought that only lasts for a day or two. That's why people get motivated. They start something, but they don't finish it. What separates the rich from the poor, besides education, big thing is education, but that understanding to know when you're disciplined in your whole entire life, then you will be disciplined in all the other financial decisions that you make, including a day trade. There I go, nagging you just like your wife, David Davis. I like you, David Davis. You've got some funny comments, man. You've said some smart stuff on these streams. I mean, what resources is going to keep you disciplined? There's not a disciplined Walmart that you can go in and buy discipline one life. There's not a resource for discipline. That is a mental state of mind that you have to work on. And it takes time. The reason why I'm asking and saying this stuff is because I know from a personal experience. Like, I've had bad habits. I still have bad habits now outside of the stock market. Right? Like, I try to fight my bad habits in the stock market. And that's why we use stop losses to take away from that human error. But those bad habits will translate. So you constantly have to work on yourself and discipline your brain. This is in the range of psychology. You know, the study of the human brain, where we understand thought processes. We understand how our perception, how every single individual, the way they perceive things can be different. So your discipline, you're going to have to find within yourself. Like, you're going to have to figure out what is all the bad habits I'm doing and what is a good way to stop doing those habits. Because once it's a habit, you have to break it. And you're not going to be able to break it by just stopping and doing that habit. It's all of a sudden cold turkey, right? Like, if you've been an alcoholic for 30 years, you're not going to be able to stop being an alcoholic within one day like that. You're not going to be able to just quit drinking and be like, oh, I'm done, and walk away from it. That doesn't happen. You're going to have withdrawals and all of that stuff. So you've got to stay, you have to have that mental focus. And whatever it takes to get you to that point, for me, meditation is very good to help keep my mind anchored and not let it get away from me. And the reason why meditation works so good is because you're simply, all you're doing is just shutting your brain down. All the time, we're constantly processing information. You know, we have phones, alerts are popping up, news is popping up. Everything around you is a marketing thing to try to sell you. Like this book is a marketing strategy. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. This treasure chest, it's a marketing strategy. This right here is a marketing strategy. My painting, this microphone I'm using is Logitech, or not Logitech, but Blue Yeti, which they are owned by Logitech now, but that's a marketing thing. The laptop this monitor's an HP, this monitor's an Asus. I've got an NVIDIA graphics card. I'm naming off different brands of companies that you see nonstop in your brain. You're constantly being bombarded in your brain by marketing. I was going to say schemes, but I don't want to say schemes because not all marketing is a scheme, but it's all around you all the time. So your brain's constantly trying to bring in all this information. So when you meditate, all you're doing is turning all of that off, and your brain is just going to its natural state, which is if you walk outside and you're not thinking about any of that stuff. Like if you just walk into nature, into the woods, and look around, you're going to be like, huh, peaceful. And that's why you have so many people now on anxiety medications, is because they cannot get back to their natural state of thinking. Especially with the kids getting technology like we have now at the ages they're getting it. They don't even realize what the natural state of thinking is. They've been raised through this technological age, and they never actually sat there with a clear mind of none of that stuff running through it. That stuff is always running through it. That's why you see so many kids now with anxiety issues at young ages, because we are not embracing our natural mental state. Remember, the laws of nature are always going to override the stupid laws of humans and the stupid actions of humans. That's just what laws of nature do. So meditation is good for that. It may not work for you. So like I said, some people it doesn't work for, but for me, it's great to get back to that normal mind state, that normal natural mind state where I don't have any worries or concerns for that short time period. And then after that, that actually heals your brain, because if your brain is constantly running, it's just like any other machine. You constantly run a car, it's going to run out of gas, but we never stop running our brains if we're not meditating. So when you stop running the car because you didn't run out of gas, you sat down and meditated, your brain will actually function better after the meditation because it recovered from the years of not going into that natural mind state. And then you'll come out of that, you'll be able to think clearer, and you will be able to figure out your disciplines. You will notice, you'll be self-aware to notice around you what your bad habits are if you don't know, because you can have bad habits and not even be aware of them. I was talking about the more advanced bad habits like I said, alcoholism, all that stuff. But you can have bad habits where it's just something that you do all the time. Maybe you walk by a desk or something and scratch your nails across of it. It might not. You may never even notice that you're doing that, and you might be doing that all the time, and it's messing with your nails and grinding your nails down or breaking your nails or whatever, your cuticles, and you had no idea. You can subconsciously have bad habits, so it helps to get to that mind state of the natural mind state to be able to acknowledge your bad habits and then work on correcting them. The best thing to do to correct a problem is understand the problem. So once you can understand why you are not disciplined outside of your life, you can then be disciplined. You can figure out, or you'll know why. So then you just have to work on not doing that habit. You got to work on breaking that habit. But some people might not even realize they have the bad habits. All right. It's like I'm reading your mind. Okay. She's right. Just don't tell her, David does. Yeah, see, that's one of the reasons why Orlando has went from being 18 last year coming on the channel to going to 19 years old now, and he's a profitable swing trader because he was able to really get the right mind state at a young age, and he has been through some things. He's from Memphis, Tennessee, which is not far from my home place, and I can tell you right now, Memphis is not the most friendly of places. There's a lot of stuff that goes down in Memphis. So sometimes if you've had like a sheltered childhood and you didn't grow up in an area where you're seeing crackheads run around doing crazy things and people are robbing each other left and right, different things like that. In the lower income areas, you see more of the law of survival of the fittest taking effect because they are in a worse financial situation. See, when you're already rich or you're born into middle class or whatever, you don't really realize that you're not having to fight for survival of the fittest as easy or as much as you should be as a human. We forget about it. when we're too cushioned and all that, we forget that it is still survival of the fittest out here. Nothing has changed but the windows. And I'm explaining that saying plenty of times. But yeah, you got to survive in this financial war. You have to follow those laws, supply and demand. I just blanked out. What was I talking about before that? Supply and demand. What's my other law? What's the other law of nature? What am I thinking of? I just said it. Survival of the fittest. Duh. Okay. So, law of survival of the fittest. When you're more aware that survival of the fittest is still relevant to you because you're a human being, it is easier for you to get into the mind state of being disciplined. Like basically Orlando didn't really have a choice. His choices were very, very minimal. There's only so many things that he could do, but he knew he had to do something. So when you're put in that space where survival of the fittest kicks in, you are just naturally probably going to evolve quicker as a trader and an entrepreneur because of that. Because you don't have the cloudy the cloudy judgment based on your upbringing or whatever. And not saying that everybody was raised with a silver spoon in their mouth or even middle class or anything like that. I don't know how most of y'all were raised, but what I'm saying is when you're put in a lower, basically when you're backed into a corner, that law of survival of the fittest is going to come out. Humans will obey that law every single time. That's why I say there's laws of nature that are bigger than just our stupid little mental brains that we can't even control. It's very prideful to think that your brain is stronger than the natural laws of nature that have existed forever, before humans. Survival of the fittest and supply and demand exist outside of humans. That's what we call it. And that's what I named those laws, or named them as laws, but they exist whether I call them that or not. So it's not something I just made up. They're there. It's just there. It's just how the ethos works. And there's not been anything ever to show otherwise. It's like, here's the perfect example, and I'm going to leave you guys with this. This is the greatest example I can think of to get out of the sheep mind state, get into a disciplined mind state, especially if you're in the sheep mind state. It's all about the perspective. Man goes to the moon, defies gravity, right? That's when we first launched the first rocket to the moon, and Armstrong went on the moon. Of course, I don't know if he was the first. I'm not as big as into astronomy and all that, but that headline, man defies gravity, goes to the moon. I can rephrase that headline to make it more realistic. Man does not defy gravity because gravity still exists. Man just shot a giant beer can full of gasoline through gravity. There's a difference, right? That is the actual truth of what happened. We didn't defy gravity. Gravity still exists. It's still there. We just, same thing with the sound of speed. We didn't break the speed barrier. We just shot something full of fire and gasoline as fast as we could through it. That's what we do. We don't perceptualize that we're not actually doing anything. We think we're doing these major accomplishments, like we beat gravity, like gravity was our enemy in the first place. Gravity was here before us. So it doesn't matter. Gravity doesn't care about us. You can shoot all the things you want through it. That doesn't change gravity. Yep. So you're in the corner, Christopher. So you've got to get that mind state. Like I said, if you've got those habits, those bad habits outside of the market, you're going to have to address those to be able to have that same discipline in the market. Because like I said, there's no in between. You're either disciplined or you're not. Same as there's no free. It's either free or it's not free. But yeah, just remember that. Man defies gravity, or man shoots a giant beer can full of gasoline through gravity. Perception. So why haven't the Lions built houses yet? Because they don't need houses. Yeah, exactly. Well, because they have dens. I think David Day was just being funny why the Lions haven't built houses. A house is a word we call what we live in, but animals don't know what the word house means. They just know that they have a place where they live in, right? We're the only species that gives special names to every single little damn thing, and then think that the names that we give things or the words that we give things give them any actual real meaning. They don't. You can name a dragon. I don't want to use a dragonfly because I don't know the. Yeah, a dragonfly, a dinosaur, anything. If you look at the name of a dragonfly, it's a fly that looks like a dragon. That was an obvious perception name. But what is the scientific name of a dragonfly? Let's Google that real quick and see. Anisoptera. Did anybody know that in the live stream? Raise your hands if you knew that was the name of the official scientific name of a dragonfly. They just made that up. I mean, it has no real purpose other than for human beings to label the dragonfly so they can tell it apart from another dragonfly. That's it. Outside of human perception, no other animal has any idea what the hell this means, and neither does most humans in the first place. Animals do not care about our stupid little words. Nature does not care about our stupid little words or our stupid little feelings. Nature is going to do its thing, and we're just along for the ride. And thinking of it any other way else is just pure pride to realize. And we're seeing BTCS starting to slowly come back up again. Little triangle there it's starting to break out of, just for this intra trend line, or intra consolidation I should say. But yeah, we're just climbing right up that trend line nice and easily. Alright guys, we're way over for the live streams. We'll be back tomorrow morning. Oh, actually, I don't know because I got that doctor's appointment tomorrow. So if you haven't yet, go to frameworkfortune.com, sign up. There's no paywalls. You just sign up with your email, and then you can also, you'll be able to get access to the Framework Fortune Discord, which the community will be more active in as we are continuing to bring people over into the Discord from the community hubs and get more people on the Discord. And you can reach out to me there, or any other social media, Instagram, whatever, if you are having those types of issues where you are not understanding why you can't get ahead. Because there is always a reason why you can't get ahead, but it's usually a reason you didn't understand or didn't see. So maybe I can help out and provide clarity. If you do feel like you need to reach out to me personally, that is always welcome. Just remember, I talk to a lot of people, so if I don't get back to you right away, even on the same day, at some point during the week, I will get back to you. SIG looking pretty good, but like I said, I'm all eyes on BTCS for today and probably the rest of this week. No problem, Christopher. You know, I've been there. I've been there the same. I mean, I've not went through a divorce or anything like that, but I've been there, down in the dumps, and you know, I've seen a lot of different things in my life. I've been in the situations like you're in right now, where you're in a corner that way. I've been in the situation like Orlando, where he's from, being cornered financially in that situation. I've been around the block, guys. I've been in jail. There's been a lot of things I've seen in my life. So anything that I'm talking about is usually off of experience of my own personal experiences. So I'm not like coming out of left field with all the stuff I'm saying. I'm projecting, thinking that there are people out there like me who will understand what I'm saying and that I can help educate them to get where they want to be. I can't get you to where you want to be. That's up to you. All I can do is just talk. The true action, the true pat on the back comes when you take the action yourself. You can research, you can study, all that's great. I encourage it. But you can study for 100 years, and if you never do anything, you just studied for no reason at all. We, as humans, we study and research so we can learn how to take action and make things happen. That's the big variable. You've got to be educated so you can know how to make money. There's a lot of different ways to make money out here right now. And when I say money, I don't mean US dollars. I mean actual value. And I'll leave you guys with that. Appreciate everybody joining me as always. You guys have a great rest of your day. Stay safe out there. Till next time.